Good morning, everyone. Hey, Christian, how are you? Hey, Ronan, how are you? Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Gosh. Hey, Raj, how are you? I'm good, I'm good. Hey, Brad. Good to see you all. Welcome to the folks joining us on YouTube. I'm JJ. On X, I'm vwaptrader1. And what we do here is we do everything we can to keep you earning. It has been a week, hasn't it? Oh, now you guys know what it's like to work in the business. It's like this every day in the business. Sometimes it's slow. But man, I tell you, in the 90s, the internet age, stocks were thin, stuff was moving faster because remember, we had to do everything manually. And the speed of trading started getting crazy when retail started coming in. And, we didn't have the infrastructure that there is now. No algorithms, right? And, yeah, by Friday, we were all just like, oh. You'd see people asleep at the bar. Hey, Stealth, how you doing? Okay, let's see what we're looking at today. Well, the good thing is markets are working very, very well. That's hilarious, actually. The power of AI. Oh, that's funny. I gotta save that. Oh. Hey, all right, how you doing? Yeah, that's a good looking balance zone. Whew. Markets are working beautifully. So overnight inventory is quite long. And on a larger scale of things, we have a rotation, my friends. So we've done this a couple of times now where we've tagged that 70-30 or failed to take out 70-30, rotated down, all the way back up. This time we looked above 70-30 and failed. And there was a constant seller. You know how I show you guys where there's a seller? There's that seller, and we rotated all the way back down to 67.88. Now we've done a look below and fail of 67.88 and 3/4. Today, my friends, that is your level, right? There used to be a stock promoter in Germany. We used to call him the baker. Because before he became a stock promoter, he was a baker. And it was great. This guy was amazing. He would get people, he'd get 3,000 people to spend 2 grand or 2,000 Deutschmarks at the time before it was euros to come in and listen to him talk. And then he'd promote the companies that we gave him stock in. And he used to have this thing. These are my mother levels. 67.88 is your mother level. I expect that to get tested, if not today, over the next week, right? If 67.88 and 3/4 does not trade, if we don't get back underneath it, this market will rotate higher. And when it does, your swing highs are going to be yesterday's high, and then these highs here. So 69.33, 69.63, all the way up here. Okay? These are going to be your swing highs. So that's where there's going to be selling. Just like on the minute chart where I show you guys there's going to be selling. That's where we're going to have selling on the way back up. Okay? If we get back under 67.88, that's a good thing. Right? If we get back under 67.88, you got to watch that overnight low. Hey, Tim. Hey, Nate. When you have a liquidation, it is not uncommon for a market to go and test yesterday's low and the overnight low. If we fail to do that, right, that means they don't need to sell it down there, right? This is a simple business. As much as people love to overcomplicate it, it's a simple business, right? If they don't have to sell it lower, they'll sell it where it is or higher, right? So let's see what happens today. For our larger traders, you should have been long 6,800, selling 68.59. That would have been a beautiful trade. I don't know. There's something like weird with my voice this morning. I sound like Bill Clinton. It's kind of weird. I did not. Okay. So rotation upwards, right? You guys know the trade. Sorry, it's Friday. Right? When it looks below and fails, you get log 68.04. Use that as your stop and sell into strength, my friends. It was a beautiful 50-point trade for you guys, right? It's a simple thing. You don't have to get into all sorts of complicated stuff. Wait for your edge, take the trade, put in your risk, and sell into the strength that is created by a lack of supply. Okay? So, let's see where we are. I had this balance level I drew using the overnights. And then doubling it took us to 68.84. We're back above that, which is kind of interesting, right? So this is all of the inventory, including all the overnight sessions. If I go like this and I get rid of all the overnight sessions, you can really see that there's not that much. I mean, our all-time high is 70.30. We're trading 68.58. You got a couple of big down days, but, could be a lot worse. Let's go take a look at the dailies on the candle wax. And you can see 68.07. You should expect some resistance up at 68.90 because everybody up here is trapped above. And we usually do a look below and fail, look below and fail. Once again, look below and fail, 68.07. Right? You don't have to have market profile. You can use candles. Yeah, I don't know, Raj. Raj, it's a new year, so I don't make any assumptions. Right now, it's looking pretty sticky because, the market, the New York, what time is it? It's 9:15 in New York. If there was a lot of selling, they'd be pounding the crap out of this thing, right? And overnight inventory has been completely long. So we are looking for a correction to overnight inventory. That's a normal course of business. We've been distributing the cheap crap that we bought underneath basically 68.44. We've been selling that overnight now, right? So this is how markets work, my friends. You get liquidating inventory coming into wholesale hands. The short sellers cover underneath the previous day low, okay? This is this is how a low is created, and there's a video on this. Short sellers buy this. Size wholesalers buy this, right? Catchers, man, right? Then we come in, and then you get that big move up when the short sellers, the dumb shorts who short here, right? And then they average up here. When they realize that they're trapped and they go to buy it back, the people who actually own it yank the price up. Not that difficult. That's how markets work, right? You know, people are like, oh, you're a supply and demand trader. I'm like, yeah, so are you. You just don't know it. Or, oh, you're an order flow trader. Yeah, so are you. You just don't know it. Right? It's all about order flow and inventory. Okay? It's all it has been, it's all it ever will be. There will be algorithms that make the business more efficient. Okay? But the business will never change because it's a market. You know, it's so funny. This morning there's some dude on Twitter, you know, who was talking about, oh yeah, we'll never know, blah, 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 blah. And this guy's an analyst. And I'm like, seriously? Right? Like, seriously, you don't know what creates a sell-off? Like, come on! Selling begets selling. You get margin calls and people get flushed out because they're using leverage. Dear God. You've been living under a rock for what, your whole life? And he's a doctor. That's the scary thing. Right? Scary. Absolutely scary. Right? So we had liquidation. Now, anybody interested in the coin of bitterness? I got smoked yesterday. I was buying it up here, and then I bought a little down at I think 72. I posted my levels, my buys. The only intelligent buy I made yesterday was it came underneath. Um, you know, it came down to that 60,000, and I bought a little when it caught back up over it. Right? So my cost average, I'm gonna have to work on that, but it's a small amount of money, and I'm working on it. There's gonna be selling at 68,200. Okay? Because that's where people are trapped. Right? You're going to see it slow down. It's going to backfill, probably back down to cost basis here. Okay? Hey, Lulu. What I do, I trade a 1 minute chart because usually my trades are 1 to 3 minutes. Right? What levels are more important are basically the time frame you're trading. I'm a scalper. I'm in and out quickly, so I use a 1 minute chart. I recommend you do that if you're not consistently profitable because it teaches you how to think and act quickly. Um, Once you progress, and then you can start holding trades a little bit longer. And every level for me is the same because you got to go and see what the business is going to be at that level. Hey, Phil. How you doing? Juan, ¿qué pasa? How's San Diego? Go down to La Jolla for me after the close. So yeah, right. And if you come into our trading room, I gotta do a little advertising, okay? If you come into our trading room, we'll teach you all of this, right? We'll teach you all of this. It's one of those things that we will. It's what we do. My job is to take normal people and help them earn a living, right? Okay. So, what are we going to do today? Yeah, I haven't been down to La Jolla in, geez, it's got to be at least 15 years. What do we do today? Overnight inventory is long, my friends. What that means is, let me just get rid of all these drawings. Okay, here's yesterday's close, and the majority of the trading is above yesterday's close. So inventory is long, right? I'm live right now in the room. I go on YouTube to spread the word to the masses, right? So my bias today, Neela, is lower to correct inventory because overnight inventory is long. The other thing is when you drop a market on its head, right? Humpty Dumpty and all that, right? When you drop a market on its head, not everybody up here sells at the same time. So I'm looking for sellers. Now we have a short position right here, and I'll show it to you on the next chart. Right? We have a short position here. So if you are shorting down to this level, that's where you should be looking for first bid. Okay? So what is our trading room, Lulu? Our trading room is called tradingsyndicate.org. We charge people like 20 bucks. We have the best AI to help traders. And what we do is we teach retail traders how to make money. We don't use any complicated indicators. We don't use any sort of double talk that you hear in markets where people are like, well, the fractal, delta, confluence, flatulence, blah, blah, blah. We don't use that. We're like, here's where the sellers are, here's where the buyers are. This is where you do business. This is when you do business, and this is when you don't do business, right? So it's very practical. Everything we teach you is practical, practical, practical. Okay? So that's what we do. Okay? 1K drawdown from prop firm enough to learn trading. I don't understand the question. So what we try and do is we try and help you make money as a retail trader. I have no idea if BTC is going to go lower than 60,000, right? Well, and if you have $1,000 in an account, you don't have a lot of wiggle room, right? If you want to learn trading, those prop accounts are great because they teach you discipline. But where are you going to learn your skill? That's what I'm saying, right? Your skill, right? Yeah. And Steve's right, right? So experienced traders will only trade right? So you shouldn't be blowing your accounts. Blowing your accounts means you don't understand the business, right? Take your time, come into our room and learn, right? So what are we doing now? We're distributing, right? The overnight point of control, or where the cost basis was, 6808, is now up here at 6856, right? So, okay, how are we going to trade this? Good stuff. Good stuff. So what I do is when I first start trading, I will trade the micro to see whether or not what I'm seeing is correct. Right now, I'm seeing, sorry, I'm getting distracted. They're talking about not trading on Fridays and people are jumping in there and distracting me. So let's get back to work. Okay? I see sellers at 68.61. Right? There's the seller right there. Okay? So, if you're a short seller, because overnight inventory is long, okay? Overnight inventory is long. So you're looking for a move lower to counteract or balance that inventory, right? We have single prints here. So if you are shorting, your targets will be here at 54, 50, 46, and 44, 45. Okay? So if you're shorting here, where is your out? Where's the place that your short doesn't make any sense? Right? So if you're shorting and your trade doesn't make any sense, you are, sorry, it means the offer is moving higher. So see how the offers have been moving lower and lower and lower, right? Good stuff, Josh. Thank you. Right? So lower, 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 lower. That means the market's being put on sale. So you can short and use these as your warning level and use this as your stop. Okay? That is practical information that you can use. You are selling with the market. Okay? You're selling with the market. The market is being put on sale, so you are looking for. Now, if you are short, where do you think about covering? Well, if you're short, there's a little cost basis here that we came into and jumped up out of. So what you do is, if you're short, you want to put some buy orders. Say you're short 6 contracts here. Buy a little, buy a little, buy a little. Now, if these buy orders don't get executed, you know that you've got to take back your short position before you get ripped out. Did you guys see that? Do you see how we came to the bottom of these candles, and then all of a sudden you get a big green candle? That, my friends, is short covering. All right? Does everybody see that? Right? That means a big order. Big candle, big order. But look, they sold into it right at 81. I mean, yeah, 61. Okay? So let's see. We opened right at cost basis, right? Now, watch the open, look for the seller, wait if you're unsure because it might be a little volatile today. Okay? You see there's a seller at the open, but the sellers see buyers, they'll raise price. When they raise price, look for 761. Thanks, Ginja. See, the seller was at 61 again. There are stops up here at that W high and the T high. Most likely they will sell into those stops. Remember, inventory is long. If it's choppy, let the market chop around a little bit. If you're unsure, remember, we only take trades from areas that we know, right? Sorry, Raj, I don't understand. The seller's at Wednesday's low? No, the seller's at 61 right now, brother. Just looking at the candles for now, right? Simple, brother. Simple, simple, right? So you can see that there's a seller here. They were there here. They were there here. They're like so simple, right? There they are. Oh, you're on the iPad. Sorry. So if the market sees buyers, it will raise price over 63, 64. See? and it'll see if those buyers will pay 67. Straight up. So now we are in 8 times cost basis. I had 4 here. I'm going to go and put another 4 on here. This market has a horrible habit of running out of supply just when everybody gets short, right? Everybody was, I'm short, I'm short, I'm short. What do I got here? Do I have 8? Oh, you can tell it's Friday. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more. There we go. So target is 69.08. Right? Everybody's short underneath the overnight high. Yeah, because the thing is, they don't trap shorts on purpose, right? Shorts trap themselves. And when you have cost basis like here, the people who short here, when they go to cover, the people who are long here just raise price because they see buying. They don't know if they're short sellers or long traders or whatever, right? So now we're going to backfill. We took it all the way up to 84, right? So overnight inventory is long. Did we get a correction? Dear God, no. Right? We have no correction to overnight inventory yet. That tells you that a lot of people are short and covering, right? Make sense? There's a business reason why everything happens. None of this is random. People who tell you these things are random don't know what they're talking about. When people put billions of dollars to work, there's no random, right? Yep. So now we're going to backfill. So say you're thinking, okay, I'm going to short. I shorted 84. Put your stop above the top of that candle. Because if you lose that seller, your short doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Maybe? Hopefully? We just went down here. Look at the bottom of those 2 candles. They're exactly the same place. That's where the bid is, right? You don't need a whole bunch of intricate technical analysis. The bottom of the candle is where the sellers stop selling. The top is where they initiate. Simple, right? How do I know this? Because I was the seller for 30 years, right? Watch the offer, Jam. Don't look at the bid. Bid is for suckers. Watch the offer, right? The bid will follow the offer, right? As price increases. The offer will push lower and hit bids to get liquid when sellers compete. Watch the offer. We'll take care of the bid. What about wicks? It doesn't matter. For me, it's the top of the candle. I don't care if it's a wick or a twick or a buick, right? This is why you don't need to worry about all of that crap. Just think about top of the candle, bottom of the candle, right? Don't overcomplicate it, right? So the top of that red candle, if you're short, is where your risk is. Because if you lose that seller, why would you be short? Right? If sellers are not competing and the offer is moving higher, it means the sellers have seen buyers and they're raising price. Here, we're going to have some distribution. The people who are long here are using the trap shorts to hold the market up and distribute. So it might be a little choppy and go like this for a while, right? This is the choppy accumulation. This is distribution. So this is the loading dock. This is Walmart. This is the highway to Walmart. Very simple, right? So watch that top. You see how that? Doesn't matter if it's a wick or a whatever you guys call it, right? This way you can really keep your mind clear, right? So if you were short at 82 and you put some buy orders under 80 and got filled and you had a 78 buy order in and you didn't get filled, close your short, right? It's simple. It's a little fast because it's RTH on the open, but you can see we distributed, and what happened was this distribution held price steady and attracted more buyers. The bigger the candle, it means people who are short here, they're starting to cover. Does that make sense? Right? The way I talk is really simple. It's really, really simple. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to simplify your analysis so you can focus on execution. Right? If your market is not trading the way where you think it is, right? Then you have to really, really be careful. Just take a step back. Take a step back. It's very clear this morning. Overnight inventory was long, no correction. That means the bid is in. Why? Most probably because people are trapped short, and then you get some bottom fishers, right? You get some people trying to get some cheap product. Now look at all the people who are short underneath 68.21. They added here at 68.56, and now they're racing to cover. Well, Neela, what you need to do is you need to come hang out with us in Globex. Globex is all inventory. Right? Once you learn the rules of inventory, it'll really help. Okay? And when you short, you want to short the backside of a move. Okay? You don't want to short the front side of the move. This is the front side of the move. You got to wait till the market puts in a top, comes back down, and then you see those sellers lowering price. So you take a short, and then you got a place to put your risk. Because every trade is a business decision, and if the business decision does not hold true, you must exit that trade, right? There is a reason why you're going long. There's no supply. There's a reason why you're going short. People are putting it on sale, right? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay? We'll teach you. Guys, I'm just checking my Denali data. And are you guys seeing a huge difference between the ES and the MES, the micro and the ES? Oh, it seems to be okay now. It was like off by 10 points. So I don't know what was going on with my data on Denali. Weird. So there's a seller at 94. So you had shorted 92, you put your stop at 94, and you cover here, right? Now watch, the buyers are going to come in. When the buyers come in, right, they're going to sell into it. See, watch. See how they sold into it here? So that's your reference. Right? So if you're shorting, if it takes out 88, you're in trouble. When the next candle opens, watch the top of that candle. Doesn't mean if there's a wick or whatever. You guys get what I'm saying? Make sense? See how the offer is starting to lift and then it starts moving lower, right? There. It moved up there, went above, the seller stepped in. So if the seller steps in again, you're better off. But if those sellers, oh my God, there's buyers, let me raise price, right? Then get out, right? It's okay to short the backfill. In this market, you got to be a little quick, right? I'm sorry, you got to be quick in this market. That's why I like trading Globex, especially for new traders, because for new traders, it's more orderly and slow. So you look at the bids, see how it came down to that where that blue line is and the offer lifted. Now, after a day like yesterday, after a week like we had rolling margin calls. It's very hard to know what the order flow is going to be, right? It can be very unpredictable. So you really want to trade your setup, okay? All right? See, there's a seller up there, but you got to be careful, right? Because after a sell-off, do you guys notice that after every time we have a big sell-off, this thing shoots back up? Because what it does is once we get up to certain levels, we flush out all the weak hands, right? This market's about speculation, right? It's all about speculation, right? No matter what they tell you, futures and that sort of thing, it's all speculative. See, look at that. Look at the shorts are just getting ripped. See, massive, massive short covering. Looking for 69.03 and 3/4. And I told you guys this morning that if the market does not take out 67.88, that it would rotate up. And now we are up, what, 80 points? Right? Everyone yesterday, oh my God, the AI and then this and the that and the this and the coin of bitterness and all of that, right? Yeah, 8 is a 50-point half-hour candle. That's insane. No, I didn't ride this from market open. I'm talking. I took a couple of scalps, nothing, and I didn't call them out because, frankly, it was trading a bit too quick, right? And that's not how I trade, Alex. I don't know if you've been with us. I only trade my setup. I'll trade a look above and fail of 69.08, or I'll trade a look below and fail of 68.34, right? I don't indiscriminately just take trades, right? I scalp on the micro when I'm on with you guys so I can show you what's going on. But my trading is always based on, and I'll call out my trade before I do it. Right, so now I'm scalp short 97, covering 94, 95. Right, I can't get filled at 94, so I bought them back. Right, I saw a seller here, I saw a seller here. I shorted, and boom, I'll cover. Right, so I'll short when I see a seller, and I'll cover when the seller stops and goes away. Right, I like to scalp. If you're looking for a guy who says, oh my God, I made 50 points on this trade and look at me and here's my Lamborghini, I'm not that guy. You got the wrong YouTube. I've been doing this for 34 years. I like to make a little money here, a little money there because it adds up, right? So I don't ride it from the top to the bottom. Also because I'm on talking to you guys, I can't concentrate. People are asking questions. I'm answering them. So that's just who I am. I'm an old man. So I tend to be a bit more conservative with my risk. Hope that makes sense, right? So we're still looking for 69.08. Had I not been on with you guys, I would have been long from the overnight low. I mean, the overnight high, right? I would have bought a little position here at 56. Truth be told, I would have been gone by 71, right? I don't need to make 30 points on a trade. I can make 4 or 5 grand a day trading 5 points, 6 points with multiple contracts. And I show people how to do that every day. Hope that answers your questions. Now we're looking for a backfill. You can see that there's a seller at 98, down to 97. But look, so if you are short in a fast market, put your buy orders out, right? Put your buy orders out so when the market goes down, you can get filled. Does that make sense? The best way to know whether or not your trades are working is to use your orders to tell you. So if you're long and you put sell orders out, right? And those sell orders don't get executed, it means you got to lower your price. If you're short and you put buy orders out and those buy orders don't get executed, you've got to raise your price. So everything we teach in this room at Trading Syndicate is practical, right? No double talk, no delta, no fractals, no they're soaking liquidity. What is this, a Dawn commercial? Your fingers are soaking in it? Like seriously, we take all the BS out of the market and we give you facts, right? Simple, simple facts, right? Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3 candles with the same high. So if you're short and the market gets over that blue line, you're in trouble. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah, I got my VPOC down here at 89, but I'm not sure if my data is correct. Right? You see how it gets up there and it's starting to creep higher. That's because buyers have come in and the sellers raise price. The sellers are positioned under 68.64. Yesterday they're positioned under 68.50. So whether they sell it at 6,900 or 68.94, they're still making money. That's how wholesale works. Let's see if we get any love at 69.03. Looking for the reaction. And if we take out 69.03, you're looking for 69.08. That is 8 times cost basis, right? It's 8 times profit. All right, sorry, I went a little long at 6,900 selling the threes. Right, so I'm scalping on the way up. Looking for 69.08, and we come barreling into it. We went right through 3 like a hot knife through butter. That tells you that the sellers saw buyers. Sellers will only lower price when there's competition, when they have to. Thanks, Moran. Yeah, I've got an untraded point of control at 69.24. Right, so we got a seller at 6. Where I mark the sellers is where you should be selling to. Right? Do we have news today? Hey, nice work, Christian. Well done, man. Beautiful. Totally green week. Beautiful. Love it. Love to see it. I get people profitable. I'll spend the time with you teach you the business, but not so much that it overwhelms you, right? Enough that you can make sense out of it and build a proper business plan. Let's see if 8 works. Close. What did we get up to? 6 1/4? So I like to short at the edge of the profit zone, right? So if it goes to 8 times profit, looks over 69.08 and comes back in, right? Then I can put a little sell order at maybe 7.6, put my stop at 9, right? And then cover here at 3, 2, right? Make my 4 points, 4 points on 4 contracts. Client's happy. Make sense? There you go, right? If I had more contracts, I'd be covering them here. So I just use my levels to cover. Do you guys see how that works? Right? We came right up to 69.08. My zones are a little off this morning, right? But there's the seller. Now wait for this candle to finish. And once you see this candle end, you'll be like, oh, okay. Where's the seller now? See, the sellers are here. They were here and they moved down. You see? Get it? So I'm short 99.23 on 3, and I'm covering the 96s. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Right? I cover as the market's into weakness. Right? I sell into strength and I cover into weakness. Really simple. Okay? Yesterday I did a trade in one of my client accounts and it was really good, but I have been pretty much sick all week. I've been sick for 3 whole weeks, so my trading hasn't been that great. All right? This is the fail to look above 69.08. So you would have been shorting here like with me and covering as the market goes down. Look for some bids here. The overnight point of control is at 89. So as we drop into 89, you'll see bids and then you'll see the offer come up. And try and get those people to pay more. Where do I have VWAP? I have 68.47. What do you guys have VWAP at? I might have put it in the wrong place. Yeah, Jam's at 48. Okay, thanks, Jam. Cool. This is the backside of the move. Now, do you guys see what I was talking about? No, no, God, no, no, no. I'm not going long now. Right? It went right to the edge. Right? Now they're selling. They're putting it on sale. The offer's moving lower. Right? You go long the backfill on the front end of the move. Get it? This is where you go long the backfill. This is where you stay away from being long because they're putting it on sale. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, a lot of people will try and buy this candle. But if you do, know that there's going to be a seller at 96. Okay? Longs don't cover. Longs liquidate, shorts cover. Right? Pretend you're working at Walmart, async. So you got a TV on sale for $69.04 and you run out of buyers, you got to put the price on sale, right? When you put it on sale, the people that you sold it to at $69.04 get scared and they puke it. Longs liquidate, shorts cover. Okay? Makes sense? And see, I drew that blue line there. You guys could see it. I told you there was going to be a seller here. There they are. See how simple that is? So if you were long 90, you would have been selling 95. Make your 5 points, right? Would you see there is a backfill from 89 to 96? You're going in the wrong direction. Immucast, you're going in the wrong direction. Just zig when you should zag. A backfill is lower from 96 to 89. Don't worry. You got your you're a little upside down. So markets backfill down. Markets go up to create demand, right? They go up to create demand and then they go back to fill in that demand with supply. We don't care where the candle opens. We don't care about any of that stuff. The top of the candle, the bottom of the candle. That's all you need to know. And I hate that, I'm destroying all of that stuff for candle traders, but you guys overcomplicate stuff so much that when you actually go to execute, you're so ass backward you don't know if you're gumming or going. The top of the candle are where the sellers start to compete and push price lower. If the tops of the candles are going lower, it means the market is on sale, right? Walmart is competing with Best Buy or whoever the hell they're competing with, right? What's the means of putting it on sale? Lowering the offer. Very simple. Yeah, everyone long from overnight is selling for a profit. But hey, would you rather sell at 89 or 93? Well, geez, if they're going to pay 93, we'll sell it at 93. But if they refuse to pay 93, we'll offer it for sale at 89. Now, do you guys I think the best trading course is if I could take you guys and put you in a market, right, and have you sell fruit, right, and you'll know what it's like to have inventory and put it on sale, right? Oh, my apples are going bad. I got to get rid of this. I'm going to slash prices. This is a sales chart, my friends. Good stuff, man. Small wins, consistent, especially in this market, right? We have 100-point range is no big deal, but it's a big deal to us if you're trading a small account. So you see how that's when the short works, when you see the sellers lowering price. You see? Lower, 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 lower. You guys get it now? This is a backfill. We went up, we're going back. Remember, the size traders are positioned here. So whether they sell it here or here is the same. Now, if things get bad, they'll sell it all the way down to 68.64 because that's what they paid for their inventory. Get it? Simple. Take all the stuff that they've taught you about this, throw it out, and pretend you're selling fruit at a fruit stand. Right? It's a hot day or you're selling Slurpees and everyone's buying Slurpees, but then the weather turns cold and it starts to snow. Sell your Slurpees at a lower price. Get rid of your inventory because it's tying up your capital. Whether you're looking at this kind of chart, which is just a fancy half-hour chart, candle chart, called a TPO chart, or whether you're looking at this chart, these are a sales chart. They're telling you how sales is going. This is where you buy your product. This is where you sell your product. When you run out of buyers, you put it on sale to get rid of your product, right? Because you pay money for your product, right? That's capital. So to turn that capital back into cash, you have to sell your product. Make sense? Hope this helps you guys. See? Back on sale. Make sense? You guys okay? See how we're putting price on sale? Right? Big short covering candle, and they sold right into it here. All the way back down. Yes. Right? They're probably out of their inventory here, right? Async, but yeah, if the price goes underneath cost basis, they'll get rid of it. What would you do if you bought something that was not priced properly? Right? Say you bought a bunch of lawn chairs and you paid 10 bucks per chair and you tried to sell them at 20, but nobody wanted to buy them at 20. And you put them on sale at 15. Nobody buys them. You put them on sale all the way down to 11. Right? Nobody wants to buy them. How are you going to turn that inventory back into cash? You better sell. You've got to sell. You got no choice. Make sense? Good, good. Alrighty. Remember, and this is an intelligent way to look at candles. This big green candle all the way from underneath 68.56 to 68.70, right? That's where the short sellers came in. So look for buy orders here. You see how it stopped right here? You think it's a good idea to look at oneself from trading when losing X amount of dollars? I don't understand the question. Could you rephrase the question so I could... Do you think it's a good idea to look at oneself from trading when losing X? You mean to stop trading after you've lost a certain amount of money? Just tell me what you're asking. Yeah, of course. If you're losing money and you're trading, obviously you're doing something wrong. Stop, right? You got to stop. The world's not coming to an end. You see, folks, this is how you use charts, right? If you see a big green candle, that's a short covering candle, right? Especially on a day like this. So when the market came all the way back to where that candle ended, do you notice how it stopped selling and the market lifted? MUCAS, I suggest that you take that $50 and take 20 of it and come into our room, right? And we can actually teach you how to do this without you stumbling around, right? Spend a little money on education, right? And we're the cheapest out there, right? We are the cheapest out there and the best, right? Do you need to wait for liquidity before you buy and sell? Are you trading like 5,000 ES contracts? Are you trading 2,000 ES contracts? Are you trading 500,000 shares of a stock? That's a serious question. Because if you aren't trading hundreds or thousands of contracts, there's really, I mean, if you're trading five to 10 E-minis, what are you worried about liquidity for? You're not trading size. You guys know what I'm talking about? Liquidity is the ability to transact size without adversely affecting price. So a retail trader should never have to worry about liquidity because your trade size is so small. Yeah, the liquidity thing is a big thing. It's a very misused word in trading, in retail trading, unfortunately. Common sense. So, knack peep, does that make sense? Take that word liquidity and get rid of it right now. You don't need it. Right? If you're a retail trader, you don't need to worry about liquidity. Right? If you're not trading hundreds or thousands of contracts, you don't need to worry about it. You could, you know, if you're trading a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 account, even 100 grand, right? You're not trading the whole account. You don't need to worry about it. This market will take your order no problem. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to ridicule you or anything, but liquidity is a very, very misused term in retail trading. right? People go, oh, they're doing liquidity sweeps. They don't even know what that is, right? Yeah, which is completely wrong, right? It's completely wrong. Liquidity is the ability to, this is what liquidity is, right? I want to buy a stock. It's trading at $5. I want to buy 1,000,000 shares of it, but it only trades 200,000 shares a day. Then it's not liquid enough for me to go and do that order in one day. I got to split it up. I want to sell a stock. I want to sell 1,000,000 shares of a stock, but it only trades 300,000 shares a day. So I'm going to have to split that order and sell it quietly over a few days or even a week so nobody knows that I'm selling. Otherwise, they're going to push the price of the stock down. You guys understand what I'm saying? Once again, simple common sense. So an area of demand is cost basis. An area of supply is where sellers are putting price on sale. It's real simple. But terms like liquidity and all of that, like, what was that one guy saying? Liquidity sweeps, and what do you got, a broom? What are you out there with, like the Swifter dust mop? Like, seriously, there is so much bad information on social media about this business. And all it does is it keeps confusing people and they don't get to make any money, right? So what you want to do before you take a trade, NACPEEP, is to have a business setup. I only do business when these conditions present themselves, right? Well, I'm glad, S-Pill. Maybe they'll learn something, right? So I only do business when X and Y and Z happen. If that doesn't happen, I don't trade. Does that make sense? Every trade is a business transaction, and there has to be a reason for that business transaction. If there is no reason for that business transaction that's valid, why would you take it? Okay? Oh, it's been a long week. Yeah, I don't know what a liquidity sweep is. It sounds like a new candy bar from Cadbury's. Where they come up with these words and these terms, it's hilarious. Well, I'm looking for bids at the overnight high, right? We finally distribute enough here that we're putting it on sale and we're coming back down to this cost basis. See? Thanks, Hex. Appreciate it. Do you know anything about business? Business transactions fail all the time. Not every trade's going to work. Most probably you're taking trades at the wrong time. You're trading at the wrong time, right? Right? Yeah. But how are you going to use that, Tim, in a trade? I like to keep things simple because you guys take stuff and you go run wild with it, right? So I like to keep things simple, right? So you wait for your level, the market looks underneath it and comes back up because the sell orders are done. You buy a little, you put your stop right underneath, and you sell into the strength, right? You don't have to use big fancy words to try and show people you're intelligent. What we want to do is we want to make you money and we want you to keep the money, right? I know it's not a popular thing to tell the truth these days, right? I know it's not popular to do that. I know it's people like fancy stuff and they want all these bullshit terms, excuse my language, right? But they're not making any money. They're not making any money. They're charging you for courses and this and that and software and order flow this and that. I talk myself blue in the face, right? But most of these people have never traded. They don't know what a liquidity sweep is. They've never traded more than 3 contracts in their entire life, right? It's ridiculous, right? So cut out the BS. Come and learn how to trade with us, right? We'll put things in plain, simple English, right? And we'll help you make some money, right? Simple. Anyway, folks, we got a little distribution going on here. Back to business. Enough of all this water cooler talk. We've got a bit of a balance zone here. Let's see if we bring in buyers now, we'll be able to take it and take out the 68.96s, right? Yeah, definitely unrealistic expectations for sure, my friend, for sure. Sideways usually brings in buyers because it shows price stability, right? And if enough people short 84, the short cover will push price up here. Well, that's pretty much it. Now let's see if we can clean out the 92s and the 94s. Right? Come into our room, we'll teach you how to do this, folks. I promise you'll learn more in a month with me than in 10 years with anybody else. What is your opinion on all this stuff on GEX? What's GEX? I don't even know what that is. Sorry, Louis, I have no idea what you're talking about. Look for the buyer, look for the seller, man. It's a market, right? Look, I don't know. Maybe that worked for Dr. Banner in the Incredible Hulk, but how are you going to wrap a trade around gamma exposure? Tell me what's your trade setup. Are you making money using that stuff? Because if you're not, get rid of what doesn't serve you. So good questions, people, and I hope I've cut through all the bullshit. Right? 2026 is a no bullshit year. Okay? We are going to cut through all that crap and try and help you make a living. Okay? That's all there is to it. Right? The market went down under 68.80. The offers moved to 84, 89, 92. Remember I told you, are they going to clean out the 94s? They cleaned out the 94, 95s, right? Just watch the 1 minute candles. They'll tell you everything you need to know. Stop screwing around. You'll be fine. Okay? Make sense? Yeah, I don't. If I can't understand it, I can't teach it, right? I need a setup. And the funny thing is, when I ask people, okay, what's your setup? How do you trade it? Crickets. Yeah, if everybody told you to jump off a bridge, Luis, would you do it? But there's a seller at 98, and now there's a seller at 84, right? That's not confusing, brother, right? Keep it simple, my friends. Don't listen to those people. They're idiots. They're trying to sell you a course, probably. Right? I got to understand it to be able to trade it. And that's pretty much it for today. Right? Right? Exactly. Let's make you guys some money this year. Right? Let's make your life a little less complicated. Okay? I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Please trade safe. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Have a good, safe weekend. Stay out of trouble. And we will see you bright and early Monday morning. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Bye for now.